All right, welcome back to the End Around Podcast. It's me and Damien, and Jermaine will be here and there. He's not feeling the best, so no webcam for him today. How's it going, Damien?
Going on, right? Could be better.
I feel that. I feel that. So the plan for today is we're just gonna grade the coaching hires. Nothing too fancy today. We're gonna go through each one, kind of give our thoughts, our expectations. We'll call it for this new coming season.
All of them S because they're not Ben Johnson.
You know what? I'm down. All of them S because they're not Kellen Moore either. I'm rocking
I
with my
take that
guy.
back. I walk with Robert Sala.
Fam, I saw somebody say the other day, I like, don't be wrong, Clint Kubiak. We can start with the Raiders just because I'm on this discussion, right? But somebody said, a Saints fan, they said Clint Kubiak's going to be the one that got away. Don't be wrong, Clint was really good in Seattle, and he might be good in with the Raiders. I feel like it's disingenuous as a Saints fan to be off of the Kellen Moore train at this point. Like in his first year, he exceeded expectations.
Yeah. Now if he goes to shit after this and QB is just amazing, yeah, sure. But we got like
Agreed.
3 5 years before we can really say that for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't. I think it's disingenuous as like if you're an outsider, maybe yeah, you could say that one that got sure. But as a Saints fan, you should be backing Kellen Moore right now. I feel like he didn't do anything bad or to hurt the team this year. He only picked it up in every way possible.
Really did.
Like yeah, he wasn't a Liam Cohen or a Ben Johnson, but like they also
But also, when we looked at your roster, was
that's
we
what I was about to
really
say. They
expecting a
came in
whole
with
lot
much
out of
better
it? Like
rosters.
even if we agreed with the coach and had full faith, we didn't have faith in your roster to be nothing
one Hundred
special
percent.
this
I
year.
mean, literally everybody and their mom thought the Saints were going to have the worst record in the league. So like he exceeded everything, and it wasn't even close that he exceeded. Like he blew it all out the water, really.
Yeah, because it was a good 6 wins and like what I don't know how many. I don't know his record. What was his
Six
record?
wins. We had 6 wins. Uh,
Mm,
might be
Tyler's
seven.
record.
It's either 6-11 or 7-10. One of the two.
No,
But like,
Tyler's record. Not the
huh?
team's.
Oh, Tyler. Well, we only won with Tyler. Spencer didn't win a game. Oh no, my
Mm.
bad. Spencer did get his first win. So we had 7 wins, I believe, because I believe Tyler had six and Spencer had one. So I believe seven. But like, yeah, I mean, there's argument that if
Not
he
too bad.
started Tyler sooner, we would have done something. But like, I trust that he really needed to develop more based off everything that's come out of the Saints media circle. But
Makes it really easier when your season's kind of already over. You got really no expectations.
agreed, and that's the only reason why like I kind of wanted to throw Tyler in a little bit earlier, just because we didn't go into the season expecting much, right? But again,
Mm.
based off of everything that was said from even Tyler himself, he needed the extra weeks to develop. So look, this season was chalked anyways. Who cares, right? Um,
Yeah.
if that's what makes him be so good the rest of his career and our franchise guy for 8-10 years, I'm good with chalking one season. So, but on Clint Kubiak, like I think the Raiders, I think they're going to get rewarded for their patience. Obviously, they're the last team to hire their coach because they were waiting for him to finish the Super Bowl run. I think Kubiak's a good coach. I think he builds the scheme for his players rather than what some do and they stick to their scheme, and that's why some coaches fail. He is one that builds it for the
Or
player that he's with.
or it takes longer to recognize if they're good or not because they need to get their players in first.
Yeah,
Their
yeah,
type of
exactly.
players,
Yeah. But
which is
Clint,
good for Mendoza that's about to be there. So
agree, but that's also why I think Clint works well with him is he builds it off of that straight. Like he's gonna build it around Brock Bowers and Genty and Mendoza. He's gonna make it easy on Mendoza. I mean, you see it with Sam Darnold. This ain't a shot at Sam Darnold. He played really well, but a lot of his stuff is simplified by Clint Kubiak, and that's when he plays well. A lot of his stuff in Minnesota was simplified. There we go, by
Sam
Kevin
Darnold only
O'Connell.
had to be here at spots of games, never like the whole game.
Exactly. The only downside to Clint Kubiak is he obviously doesn't have a wide receiver one. Like he doesn't have a Jackson. He doesn't have a Chris Olave. So
Or
they
they're
got
gonna
to
go
do something
draft him.
there. Huh?
They're gonna get DJ Moore.
Possible. Or they might sign Alec Pierce as the top free agent wide receiver. I mean, who knows, right?
We're
But
trading DJ Moore for Max Crosby.
I think even if they don't get a star wide receiver, a stud wide receiver, he'll build the quote wide receiver stuff into Brock Bowers' hands. Obviously, it won't be the same as a receiver because Brock's not going to always line up out wide. But the point is, the receiver role will be filled by Brock Bowers because that's what Clint has done in his years. I will say one thing that somebody pointed out that was a good point is Clint Kubiak has yet to work with a non-veteran quarterback. So not one that hasn't had some level of development. Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. Now he's going to be with a straight rookie in Mendoza. So it is a little bit of an unknown, but I still trust that the way he builds his offenses, I think he'll be fine. As long as Mendoza's good at the NFL level, I think Clint's a home run higher. I would personally grade it in. I'll go an A. I'll just go straight A.
I mean, I don't really think there's anybody else they really could have hired that would have been better for them.
I don't
For
think
the
so
ladies, at
either.
least.
I really
They
think
could have,
that
yes, they could have
they
signed a
got the
couple
guy.
of the good DCs, but like,
Yeah, that's my thing. I do think like we'll get to the Ravens, but I think they kind of hit out the park with Jesse Minter as well. But I think the Raiders needed an offensive guy. Bringing in Mendoza with the number one pick, you don't want to go defense. We've seen so many teams with a DC have the number one pick for a quarterback, and it just doesn't work. So,
like for the Ravens, they're established. Lamar's
exactly.
established. He is who he is. He's
Or
not going to
even
get
like Tennessee.
so much better.
Tennessee could have went Jesse Minter, and I think it would have been a really good hire. Because again, I'm really high on Jesse Minter, which I'll explain why when we get there. But I just think that when you're bringing in the number one pick, pair it with an offensive guy. And no, Clint Kubiak isn't some Ben Johnson level schemer or a Liam Cohen level schemer for that matter, but he is still very good.
At least that very first year, at least give him an offensive coordinator. Let him get his feet grounded first.
What would you grade this one?
Oh, I thought it was an A+. I think it's the best coach they could have hired.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I'm going to give out an A+. I think that's why I'm at an A because I do agree. I don't think there's a better hire. I think it's the best hire of the cycle one, and I think again, kudos to them for being patient because a lot of teams like they rush to hire these coaches, and a lot of the times in recent years that I can remember, the teams that waited and were patient were the ones that got the better coaches. Like the Saints, we had to wait for Kellen Moore, or
you do the reverse and have the coach wait a whole year. Chicago.
Yeah, that too. But I just think like you're so in a rush to make sure you don't lose out on the top guys. So in the Clint Kubiak scenario, the Raiders could have been scared that he says no at the very end, so they rush and hire someone else when they could have just waited for Clint, right? But they didn't. They didn't make a trash decision. They didn't do a Browns and just completely frick the whole process. They
didn't do like what the Steelers do and have so many people already out on them and go, let's finally hire this guy, I guess.
Let's jump to the Steelers. Let's jump there because I'm interested to hear your take because I know Mike McCarthy is an old foe of yours. So what do you think about them hiring him?
I think it's like a C. I generally think they just replaced a Mike Tomlin with a white version of him.
That's fair.
He'll get you the winning record. He'll get you to look good, but like, there's gonna be times that you're like, what the hell?
I agree. I don't. That's why I think I go like a B.
Probably will look great, probably for most of the season, but then he just has constant coaching malpractices that causes his team the game. He doesn't have a Rodgers to burn him out. He doesn't have a Dak Prescott to burn him out, which I truly believe Dak is one of the better quarterbacks.
I agree.
Every year.
That I do. Yeah,
so he doesn't have a Dak to just sit there and just lean on. He has to. I don't know who the fuck their quarterback going to be.
What if they get Derek Carr?
It wouldn't be shocking. They just failed to accept to just go draft an actual quarterback in.
I don't know. The rumors that have been said are that he's very high on Will Howard, who they drafted last year.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he has a string of somewhat developing quarterbacks, so
he can develop a quarterback.
Maybe they have a guy in Will Howard.
For me, I think this is a stepping stone for the Steelers. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they have one like 11, 12 season. The rest of it is like 8, 9 wins.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
one divisional. Maybe get lucky a conference championship. But there's nothing like that goes. Wow, we must keep this guy after this 4 years.
for the
Let's get a new
Steelers
coach.
fans, they're gonna they're gonna feel kind of
Unless that championship run, like let's say he makes it to the AFC championship or barely misses out in the divisional, that happens in his last year. I don't see him getting rehired after this year because he's not a bad coach, but he's also not good. He's
no,
like
but
a
I think so.
what you would call
So
like a bridge coach.
that's why it's interesting with McCarthy because I think if you were the Titans, right, and you hired Mike McCarthy, I think it's a home run hire because he's going to raise the floor of that team. He's going to develop Cam Ward, and then he sets
I
up whatever the next coach is. The problem is the Steelers, they don't need the Mike McCarthy development. They're there. That's what Tomlin was. They're the exact. They are the same coach in that sense. So like
I
the Steelers
generally
needed an upgrade, not a lateral move.
I, yeah, I low-key feel like they should have only gone one or two ways. They kind of go on the coaching hire, and then they kind of not tank, but like they spend the next few years just trying to regroup everything, or they get a better coach and
I
be
just
better.
I just think they needed to take a risk on a younger guy that is unproven. Like, just take the risks. You had no better opportunity than now. Like, McCarthy is gonna get you 10 wins. He's gonna
Yeah,
get you a first round playoff game,
he's
and then
gonna
you're probably
waste
gonna
the
lose.
talent that you have now. If you would have took a risk at the very least, when all the contracts start to end, by the time that coach would have ended, your all your players would have been old and their contracts would have been up, so it would have been easier just to let them go, or they're just not gonna take that much of a hit, and
I
you could have
think
just started out anew. Now you're gonna sit here and be with no will pick ever again, really.
I just give it a B minus because I don't think it's a bad hire. I think McCarthy's a good coach. They're gonna be in the playoffs. I just think you could have found better coaches, right? Like
They, if I mean, but at the same time, they don't want to get rid of fucking Tomlin. They were okay with being where they're at, so
exactly, and that's why I
it
think
kind
they
of just
went with
it,
McCarthy.
it kind of feels like they just wanted that no losing season thing, and they're like, see, that's what makes us a winning franchise.
And they also, there's the hometown connection for McCarthy, but like you're kind of doing yourself an injustice if you're hiring off of that kind of thing. Let's be
Not
real.
to mention, you didn't even give him a real quarterback, so like, I don't know.
Again, there's a
I've never seen Mike McCarthy without a quarterback,
I
so
wasn't some Will Howard believer in the sense of, oh, he needs to go in the first, second round. But I think there's a chance that Will Howard could be a let me
like
not choose the wrong quarterback. Let's say
a late round pick that becomes pretty solid.
yeah, like I just
So
think like maybe an
Brock
Andy
Purdy.
Dalton type. So I don't know. Hey man, handle the pod for just a second. I'll be right back.
Shit, fuck. I wasn't ready.
What, Dad? What?
Yeah.
Why?
I'll say he was just saying something. I just didn't get a chance to even think. And I think y'all should have just tanked. Well, not tanked, but should have. How can I see the writing on the wall? Just gonna be mid forever. All right, what other coaches we got here? That's not what I wanted. Yeah. Do-do-do.
Go to the
Oh,
Browns.
dog.
Stefanski hire.
Man.
I
I
don't
hate
know
Jim.
why the Browns. I don't know why the Browns let Jim Schwartz walk. He already knows the defense. That's an F hire in my opinion.
You said you don't know why they let Jim Schwartz?
Yes, he was the defensive coordinator.
The Browns needed an offense.
Look, they had a defensive coordinator. They let Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
He just
The
quit.
but they needed somebody that can coach one of their fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's what you get an OC for. Get a competent OC for that.
It's the Browns. You know they can do anything. They let Stefanski go. Like he's just a
Stefanski
scapegoat for
had to
them.
go.
I mean, I think he did. It was more of a not really his fault. I think it was just time for a change
They
with
should have had.
all the noise around him, all that other shit with Shador, him not even liking
My,
his own quarterback.
my biggest gripe was they let Jim Schwartz just quit. Like he knows the defense. He could have changed the whole culture of that team around, made it a defensive team instead of worrying about an offense.
But you
Yeah,
need
you need,
offense.
well, yeah, you need somewhat of an offense, but you had like one of the best defenses, almost every year.
Yeah, but that offense was non-existent.
I don't
That's
know.
why you get you a competent OC.
Who's the OT that's gonna go there?
You could have had Todd Monken go there for the Ravens. I think he was an OC.
Todd is their coach.
What
Todd
team are
Monken
we on?
Is the Browns coach.
Saying that he could have been their OC instead of their head
Who?
coach, Jim Schwartz. Oh, we went to Browns, bro.
Todd Monken was never going to be their OC.
See, never.
No,
I'm
he
saying
was
some world
already
could
the
have
OC
happened.
of the Giants. He had to go laterally to a higher job.
Yeah, the Giants were
He
just
could
gonna
not go
block
to
that
an
shit.
OC job.
Did they block?
No, but you can't block going to a head coaching job. They
You
could.
can't
They would
block an
have.
upgrade.
They would have blocked him going to an OC.
But I only came here because you dipped, Chris.
That's fine. I mean, thank you for covering. But yeah, like
Yes.
they can't. Like Todd Monken was never gonna be an offensive coordinator for the Browns. It was head coach or nothing.
I don't know. I just felt some type of way. They could have had.
I'm not a Jim Schwartz believer as a head coach. I'm sorry. I still grade the Browns bad for their hire. I don't. It's a D plus at best for me because I think they screwed the whole process. But like,
who would you want to see go there?
I mean, that's hard to say. But like, give me a second, and I can give you a name. But like, I just think the way that they handled it, based off the reports that were being said, where they were doing interview tactics that we haven't heard any team ever use, bringing in all kinds of analytics and stuff of the sorts. Like, I just think they screwed the whole process to where they left themselves with Jim Schwartz and who. Like, I think earlier on, like, if you wanted an offensive mind, you could have went out and got someone off of a McVay staff, or you could have gotten someone off of a Shanahan staff. You could have done what the Cardinals did and get LaFleur. And yeah, LaFleur is more unproven, but at least
there's some faith behind it.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect Monken because Monken's been solid, and I think as an OC itself, I think he's a good hire. I just think that the whole process as a whole, if you grade it, you have to fail the Browns because, and not to mention, they're still in a battle with Jim Schwartz because he's quit on the team and doesn't want to be the DC, and they're trying to force him to be the DC. So like, you just opened yourself up for this whole wormhole because of how you handled everything. Like, I can't give you a passing grade for that. You would have had to hire Bill Belichick in his prime for me to give you a passing grade after all this, or Sean Payton in his prime. Like, I just don't. I don't think the two names that they were down to both would have been a fail for me. I'll put it that way. Monken would have been a fail. Jim Schwartz would have been a fail.
Is that all they had left?
I mean,
basically,
based off of what we've heard, yeah.
We've heard that like every other coach like denied them.
Every other coach dropped out because of how they were handling the process.
Well, apparently they've been doing that way for like the last decade.
Yes, but so one of the things that is definitely new that I never was able to really feel like I confirmed it. Sorry, my train of thought just went off track. Essentially, what was said is they were telling these, especially the offensive coaches, they were telling them, you have to keep Jim Schwartz on your coaching staff. And they're like, okay, well, you're forcing somebody on me. I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't.
Coaches, when they come in, they want to build their staff. They want to fail or win with their guys, and that's fair. they've earned that right when you become a head coach to have your staff.
That's kind of the standard rule when you become a head coach.
Especially if you're a team of the caliber of the Browns. Like, y'all don't have a standard set.
Yeah, it's your standard is ass.
The Browns want to keep Jim Schwartz because Myles Garrett likes him. It's
And the
almost
defense
that
was
simple.
really good.
Yeah, but like you can find another defensive coordinator. 110%. That defense is so talented; it will be good with another DC.
Also, is he really worth losing out on a chance to get a coach that would make your team overall better?
Exactly.
Maybe your defense takes a hit, but like, wow, your defense instead of being number one goes down to like what, top 8, but now your offense goes from 28th in the league to 15 or 11.
Exactly.
I'd rather take that. Like the Bears, our defense was really good, but like we took a hit. Shit, but I'm okay with that. Our offense actually scores more than 10 points a
the
season.
simplest way to put it is where has that defense that's been, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would assume it's probably been top 7 at worst every year with Jim Schwartz. Where has it got? How many wins has it gotten you? Not enough to do anything with.
Not enough for anybody to care.
So like,
I mean, they got a playoff win. They got them a playoff win that one year.
I just think Schwartz he's a good coordinator. He's one of those guys. He's a good coordinator. But you can move on from a good coordinator and be fine.
But if you really had that much trust, you really wanted him, you would have just promoted him.
Agreed.
Like in that situation, you either just promote him or tell him, "Hey, thanks for your contributions."
And
go get a job.
That's why it's so weird that they want to force it on him, or on the new guy. I should say, not him specifically, but on the new guys. Like, if you liked him that much, hire him. Why are you so scared to hire him if he's this great guy that you want to keep in the building?
Yeah, if he's that great of a guy, why did you not just hire him and then trust that he can find an OC that can bump the offense at least from 32 to, I don't know, 15?
I think, again, the whole process from start to finish, I think, was just a fail from them this time. Like, in previous years, they haven't, like, Stefanski, I thought, was a good hire when they hired him. Like, they've had good
I think Stefanski kind of got shit. I think he just got shit on by the situation he was in.
I think the roster that they gave him on the offensive side of the ball, yeah. Like, trading for Deshaun killed his chances of winning.
It really did, because they were just stuck with paying his ass. So they couldn't pay anybody. They couldn't get anybody. The draft was gone because they traded all of them away.
Now, the one thing I will say, and we're not going to know the full story of this until one of them's out the league or both of them even, whatever happened and broke down with Baker, that's the only thing that I can look at him like, yeah, that's where you screwed up. But otherwise... That was truly the fail. That's when I think he probably should have been fired, honestly. Agreed. But afterwards, he's been fine. Like, he won Coach of the Year twice. Like, you don't win that by accident.
He's not a horrible coach.
No. Okay. Did you give your grade for it, Devin?
Oh, for his hiring?
Yeah, for the Browns.
I think it's like at least a B plus. At best,
you're giving it a B plus for Todd Monken?
Huh? Oh, I thought we were talking about Stefanski. My B.
No, Todd Monken.
Oh, C minus.
I go D plus. So now we can transition to Stefanski. That's why I was saying that.
I'm not a fan of the Browns picking him. There could have been better options. I personally would have rather taken one of the DCs like Salah or somebody over him.
Agreed.
But at that point, we're going to go DC, just hire short.
To transition to Stefanski, I hate that he's in my division now because I think he's going to fucking cook with Bijan and Drake London and Kyle Pitts maybe if he's back, if they re-sign him. But, like, I think they're going to cook.
And I'm kind of scared that what if he fixes Michael Penix?
Yeah. Well,
or maybe not fixed, but get him to be more consistent because I
don't even think consistency is necessarily the thing. The consistency he needs is health.
Yeah, that is true. But sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes a player moves somewhere and they just never get hurt again, even though they were injury prone.
If they can figure quarterback out, whether that's Penix, whether that's bringing in a vet, whether that's whatever it is. Somebody. I'm scared of Stefanski in my division. I know I've seen several talking heads that are big in the football world. They're thinking Stefanski just isn't a good coach. I'm not on that train.
No, if you want to argue he's not like great by any means, I'll let you have that. But to say he's a bad coach, I can't see that.
I don't know that they've necessarily said bad, but I do know that they've said that they don't like the hire. They think he's not worthy of another head coaching job. I absolutely think he is.
I think he has at least one more chance. I think he deserves one more chance. The
I
Baker
am
Mayfield thing kind of showed me that he deserves another chance because he did. Once he got an actual quarterback to play for him, did pretty well. Also, what was he supposed to draft? They gave it all to Deshaun bum ass Watson. That played like buns, by the way.
I am more concerned now. I will say this on record. I am more concerned with the Atlanta Falcons than I am the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. I'll say it. I think that's how good of a coach Stefanski is, and I think Todd Bowles is fired in a year. I think
I
next
also
year
think the Falcons, they also have a better roster than the Buccaneers to me.
that's
Outside of
debatable.
quarterback.
That's debatable. I think a fully healthy Bucs roster is probably still more talented. But yes, that's the thing with the Falcons. They have this immense amount of talent on the roster, and they just haven't been putting it together. So like they scare me with Stefanski. I think he could be the guy to put it together.
Yeah, the only question mark for him is really just Michael Penix.
Agreed.
It really depends on how good he can get him by the season start.
Unfortunately,
whatever they decide.
I graded an A-. He's one of the best hires of the cycle for me, and I hate that as a Saints fan. I want them to go out and hire the Matt Nagy's of the world, and just have no hope.
Matt Nagy, we want to talk about people that don't deserve another attempt. It's him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I threw his name out there.
Matt Nagy.
Or I want them to get the Dave Canales, who's like, he's flopping like a fish out of water right now in Carolina. He has this year to fit. The NFC South might be looking for 2 new head coaches next year. Tampa and Carolina could both be looking for new head coaches.
He can just get his. They can just figure out the consistency of how to play a game against shit teams.
But the problem is it's deeper than that. It's his play calls. The way he's calling the game for Bryce is miserable a lot of the times.
Like when he plays against shitty opponents, makes no fucking sense.
So, I mean, I don't think they would have to go like 3-13, 3-14 now. Probably
like
to get
fighting
fired.
for the number one spot again.
But like,
shit.
there is a chance that both the Panthers and Bucs are looking for coaches next year.
Yeah, I'm surprised Todd Bowles didn't get fired this year, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
that's
it's because of all the injuries that kind of saved them.
Unless the Bucs make a playoff run next year, I think Todd Bowles is gone. And they've let 2 of their guys walk. One of them being Dave Canales, and the other one being Liam Cohen. So like they've talk about letting your guy get away, right? Dave Canales is one thing. Liam Cohen looks like one that you're gonna regret letting get away.
Liam Cohen is honestly my biggest shocker of last year's hires. I didn't think he was gonna be that good with Jacksonville.
I agree. I didn't either. I mean, I thought he would be good.
It wasn't against 100% against Liam, but it was really just Jacksonville as a whole. And then him, I didn't have too much faith in.
Have them looking like a Super Bowl contender.
And then
not at all.
Trevor Lawrence, I thought he was who he was. Honestly, he just kind of just washed.
Let's move. You gave your grade for that one. You said B+. Let's go to the Cardinals with Mike LaFleur. This one's hard for me because I don't know a lot about Mike LaFleur. Like,
well, if he's just like his brother, give a C+. He'll get you some games, choke the big ones, but you look competent.
For me, it's hard because the Cardinals are just in shambles as a whole. We don't know what the quarterback's going to be this year because it doesn't sound like it's Kyler Murray.
The Cardinals have been in shambles in the last 5 years. We don't ever know what their intentions are.
But that's what I'm saying.
Been a question mark since 2020. He's been like an inconsistent question mark. Like, is he going to stay? Is he going to play? Is it injuries? Blah, 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 blah. All these rumors coming out that he's lazy, but he's not. And then the in and out of transition of OC left and right.
Hiring Mike LaFleur from underneath Kyle Shanahan is always Sean McVay is always, when you hire from underneath a coach that's that good at his side of the ball, how much of the credit is really Mike LaFleur?
Yeah, it's not like you went to like I don't know, uh, Mike
It
Tomlin and the
it's
offense was looking amazing and you took
or
the
it's not
coordinator.
like the
It's probably
Tennessee
at least
Titans hiring
80% the
Robert
offensive
Saleh
coordinator.
when he like Saleh is carrying Shanahan's defense. It's not Shanahan doing it. So you know that's Robert Saleh. He is the head guy on
Yeah.
defense. You know what
Like
you're
we
getting.
know, even based off his Jet days, the defense will be fine. It's
Like
that offense
I don't
that
even
might
know
look
what kind
better.
of leader of men Mike LaFleur is in the sense because McVay's in the offensive huddles. So like he's still the one leading, I'm sure. So like a one like that is very hard for me to grade. I graded a B. I'm just gonna give it a solid grade because I mean his brother's good. He comes from a system that plenty of coaches have been good in the NFL at this point. So
Yeah,
I'll give it a good
he
grade.
does he is coming from a reliable tree.
Yeah,
It's not like the OCs for fucking the Patriots. Like all love to fucking Belichick, but that man created out some bums his last few years. Holy shit,
agreed. So
that
like
man has made some of the worst coaches ever. I've never seen a defense cover up an offensive coordinator so good.
no diss to Cardinals fans. I don't think I'm going to spend a whole lot of time here unless you have a whole lot to say because I don't have a whole lot on the Cardinals. I like Matt LaFleur is a bit of an unknown. Or sorry, Mike LaFleur is a bit of an unknown. I
I
it,
give it,
it's just hard to grade.
I give it a B minus because I gotta respect that they're
I
taking
give
the
it a B.
chances on a young guy.
Yeah, I give it a
Gotta
B.
respect that.
I
To me,
they
it shows.
they did what the Browns should have done. Take a
It,
shot on a young guy.
to me, it shows that they are trying to do their
Yes.
best. Now,
Absolutely.
will this be an absolute fucking flop? Yeah, it could be. But you're not
Absolutely.
the Jets. So you got like a 50-50 chance that actually works out.
I just think like they were similar to the Browns in the sense of I don't think they were an attractive job, right? Like you weren't a Tennessee or a Giants where you had the whole array of everybody that you wanted to interview would take the interview. Like you didn't have that as Arizona. So in order for you to get a guy that's looked at as an up and coming offensive mind, I think you did the best you could. Now let's see how it pans out.
Um, and I kind of hope that they do well because, well, I've been kind of believing Kyler Murray for like too long now. At this point, I just wanted to see it out of,
Well, but the thing is, it seems like Kyler's gone. So
oh, fuck. Well, on the bright side, I
every
didn't see the
report's
Cardinals be
looking like they're
relevant
going to
again.
trade him.
Oh, well, then I hope the Cardinals be great. I just want to see the Cardinals be good.
So I don't know. We can, like I said, we can move on if you want. I don't have much else to say. We can move on to. We can go Giants. We can talk about Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh's. I think they got a coach that's going to elevate their floor. They're going to be in playoff contention. I just don't know if they're ever going to win the big
Yeah, that one I don't.
That's my
I have
only
faith that the
thing.
team will look good and all that.
Agreed. He will get them looking like a playoff team consistently.
And I can see them eventually winning the big game because it looks like they're almost there with an elite defense.
It's fair, but
But I don't. My question with that team ain't even really Harbaugh because I think it's a great hire. I think
the
it's one of
problem
the
is a guy
better
like
hires.
Harbaugh needs the coaches around him.
Yeah, that and two. It's more of a. It's really just Jackson Dart just saying, "I'm not gonna change the way I play. I'm just gonna keep lowering my head in the linebacker's chest." Like as a coach, what can you really do if your quarterback's never fucking there?
Agreed. I do just think
Like I'm hoping that he lists like that he respects Harbaugh as like an old NFL coach, like a respectable coach, and he goes, "All right, I'll listen." But I
I
don't
just
know.
think the thing with Harbaugh, and I believe that we saw this in the later years in Baltimore, is he needs elite coordinators. If he doesn't have elite coordinators, he's kind of cooked. So
He's
it's
like a
like,
better he's like a better Sirianni.
yeah, but at least Sirianni's an offensive-minded coach, right?
That is
Whereas Harbaugh is a special teams guy. He was raised and grew up from special teams. So like, yeah, he can be a great leader of men, but that can only get you so far if you have an elite coordinator and it gets taken away.
I mean,
Look, I hate to use the comparison, but look at Dan Campbell. The
yeah,
one year
because
he didn't have the elite offensive mind, they took a step back. Now,
it was
I'm
more than
willing to,
just the
again, I
coordinators,
hate
but
using it
still.
because they had a bunch of injuries, their old line's been shuffled around, but
But
like the point stands that all like if you hire just a pure leader of men, you run into some of these traps where I think
at
your
least
ceiling is capped.
if you pick one side, at least you're like, all right, defense will always consistently be good.
Yes.
Or offense will consistently be good. Special teams, great and all, but like, especially with the new kickoff rules, you're not really going to be making that much of an impact.
And again, don't be wrong. I think the Lions land back on their feet this year if they do one or two right moves in the offseason, of course, right? It's
I do too.
just
I don't. I think will be. I think there will be a battle with the NFC West again in the
again
North, fighting
agreed,
for
yeah.
the spot.
But what I'm saying is, I just think that as a when you have that, you saw he had a bad offensive coach. The defense was still solid. It was good at times, right? But their ceiling was so much lower because they didn't have that genius on either offense or defense. If you don't have a genius on one side of the ball,
Like
the
if
leader
Lamar
of men
couldn't,
means nothing.
like if Lamar couldn't build out whatever his athleticism, they didn't have the OC to coordinate. Like, all right.
Exactly.
So obviously, this whole Lamar, you doing it by yourself ain't working. Let's try to scheme something different. They didn't have that.
I will just say as well, like the Baltimore, and this is probably why it's one of the bigger stains on him and with Baltimore towards the end is they had some of the really good defenses, not this year, obviously, but in the past, they've had some really good defenses.
Just
And
literally falls like a yard away from making
yeah,
it
they
to the
just
big
could
game.
never
Really,
get over the line. And at some point, it has to be an indictment on the coach. At some point, like it starts and ends with him. So at
yeah. I mean,
one
like,
point, like if it's one or two seasons, sure, unlucky, it happens. At some point, it falls on the coach, and I think you saw this with Buffalo as well. Is Sean McDermott a bad coach? No, but at some point, you have to make that leap of faith and just say, "All right, we need a change. Like we can't do this anymore. It's the
like
same
we're
thing
not
year
even,
in and year out."
and we're not even pushing like AFC Championship games every year. We're literally just fucking up first round half the time, losing to the same fucking opponent. So like,
Like
who am I coaching? Good and all, but you can't coach against the one guy we need to coach against.
I'll give them a B+ for the hardball because I do think again you got technically speaking the best coach in the market, but in terms of ceiling, I don't think he's the best coach in the market. But in terms of he is going to raise the floor, he's going to have you in playoff contention. You're going to be a good team.
He'll
If you're
quickly
looking for
stabilize the
that,
franchise.
like, and to be fair, New York fans at this point, football fans, I should say, they want that. That's what they are desperately eager for. So, like,
Yeah,
I
it's
get
not
that.
like it's not like this is happening to the Chiefs or like
No,
like
exactly.
a top end
It's
team.
not the Tomlin
Where
situation where you're going from mid to mid.
yeah, when you're making a lateral move, this is like a bum team.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
you're
This
telling me I
will
can make
upgrade you.
playoffs for the next 4 or 5 years? Oh, shit, I'll take that.
Exactly. But again, I do think in 4 or 5 years, you're probably going to start seeing Giants fans saying what Ravens fans were saying, where it's like, maybe we should move on. Maybe we should keep such and such. The
Or
Ravens
just
should have
or,
kept Mike McDonald. They should have fired Harbaugh that year and kept Mike McDonald.
yep, or just seeing that some coaching decision like he did with the Ravens in crunch time, where you're like, why the hell are we doing this? Why are we not putting in certain players? Why are we not doing this, this, and this? Why did we run this play? What are you doing?
And he would also, he's facing history too. Like he'd become the first ever coach to win a Super Bowl with two teams. So history is not on his side, right? Like maybe Sean Payton beats him to it with Denver, but as of right now, nobody's done it. He's facing history in that sense. Same for Sean Payton. He's facing
God stop that shit.
True.
Broke his ankle on a fucking QB knee.
Well, no, he broke it the previous play.
I know, but still.
But
literally
yeah,
three plays away.
I mean, a little off track. I do think that my mind just went blank. I do think, but that Denver wins that Super Bowl. The way New England played, we saw the glimpses of if they just put up any kind of offense, which I think a healthy Bo Nix led offense, they would have been able to put enough up against Seattle, I think, to win the Super Bowl. I really do think that.
Denver's O-line is also way better than New England's O-line, so.
Agreed. Also, I'm gonna sound like a Sean Payton guy here, and I'm really not anymore, but I'm
He
willing
is.
to bet.
He got his jersey in the back wall.
I'm willing.
He hides
That's a
it.
Cameron Jordan jersey and a Drew Brees. No
He
sir.
hides it behind that jersey. I
No
personally
sir.
know it.
I do believe that Sean Payton would not have let the same blitz work for 4 straight quarters. Like he would have
Yeah.
figured something out.
Or blitzes to work the same way. Shit, I've been taking field goals too.
So yeah, I really do think Denver, a healthy Bo Nix led Denver would have won that Super Bowl. Absolutely.
I don't know about absolutely.
That's how confident I feel. I actually think that was Denver's to lose if they made the Super Bowl. Based off of how Seattle played in the Super Bowl, I think so.
Yeah, but it also changes because I mean, if you're watching the other team literally can't move the ball, why take a lot of risk?
Yes and no. See, the thing is like it's not like Seattle would have faced a weaker defense. If anything, Seattle might have faced a stronger defense in Denver. So I don't think it changes much. I think the only change is Denver's offense would have been more confident. But
Yeah,
that's a whole different topic. Back on the coaches.
Because I still think they should have won that game. Anyways.
Did you give your grade for John Harbaugh?
Yeah, I give it A-.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm giving it a B plus just because, again, I do think you could have went a little more risky, but
yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked if they be in the NFC Championship in a couple years. Next year, maybe not next year, but the year after.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Dart stays healthy, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
My biggest question is not really with Harbaugh; it's really more with the players.
I don't know. I just
think
don't know if they
Harbaugh
win a
was-
Super Bowl with Harbaugh. That's my thing.
I think Harbaugh will stabilize the whole situation, get it pretty good, and then after that second year with his coordinator, then we might run into the same issues. But until then, I think we're good.
Like, what if they win and got Clint Kubiak? You know, like that would have been a better hire.
That'd be honestly probably best hire for Kubiak.
But that's what I'm saying. Or what if they went and got one of the defensive minds? You know, like I just think that there was better options. But I think they landed with one of the really good guys. It's just I think ceiling wise, you capped yourself a little. That's all. And maybe you're right. In 3-4 years, I'm eating my words, and he's playing in the NFC Championship game for a trip to the Super Bowl. Maybe, but
I think he can get one trip out of him, and then the OCs in DC will get gutted. But I think he can get at least one check.
I mean, shoot, he's already lost his OC once. He's already lost Todd Monken before they even played.
Yeah, but like I said, I think they can, as long as Jackson develops the way I think he will. I can see them.
No, that's why I said that's fair. That is 100% a fair take. What's another coach? I'm drawing a blank. You got the list. Who haven't we covered yet? We haven't covered Tennessee.
Yeah.
We can go Robert Saleh. I think it's a home run. I think this is another home run. I go A-. Because I came into this coaching cycle, and I think I've said it on podcast past. The one way that I would have hired Robert Saleh was it was a team that didn't need development per se. It was on offense, right? The defense could need development or whatever. He would solve that. I have full faith in that. But the offense either needed to be fully set, or the off chance that you landed one of the genius offensive coordinators, which technically I think he's landed both. I think with Cam Ward, what he showed, I think you would have been okay with just an average offensive coordinator. With you put
literally anybody
more
but
talent.
Fucking Callahan.
But I think as well, he also landed the genius offensive coordinator. He got Brian Daboll. Granted, Daboll could leave very next year if they pop off, right? He could get a head coaching job. But as of right now, I think it's a home run hire.
I think unless Cam Ward looks extravagant, and I mean extravagant, I think he's there for at least 2 years.
I don't know, because he was getting head coaching interviews this year. So, like, there's interest in Brian Daboll still.
Yeah, maybe the Browns will go do it again. Because honestly, I don't have faith.
Or what if Joe Brady doesn't work in Buffalo and they fire him after? What if they just absolutely shit the bed this year and they say, all right, Brady, you were not the move. Brian Daboll's got plenty of connections with Josh Allen and wants to be there. So
the Browns should have done.
there's a world, but either way, again, I do think that offense with Cam Ward running it is set up enough especially after 1 year under Dable, it will be set up enough to stomach a loss of the OC. And that
I mean,
defense, we know that defense is
he
going to be
was
good.
honestly held back by his quarterback play every time.
I agree. Well, I just think my thing with him going to the Jets was he could not develop the offense, and he never landed the offensive coordinator that could do it. Mixed with bad draft picks, blah, 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 blah. List goes on, right, with the Jets, of course. But I just think that as a whole just cooked his chances in New York. That's why I think this Tennessee one is a pretty good landing spot for him because the defense, he's going to get that good. You got Brian Dable. You've already got your franchise guy in Cam Ward. We all believe in Cam Ward after what we saw. So
He basically had a Caleb Williams year. If you watch the games, you'd be like, wow, he kind of has it in him. But if you just looked at the stats and you saw the record, you're like, this is a bust.
And that's why, like, at first I was a little scared with them hiring Salah because I'm like, you might be stunting Cam Ward, right? And
I
then
was
they
until
get Dable.
they hired Dable.
Agreed.
Then I was like, oh, okay.
I think this was a B hire before Brian Dable. I think it's an A- with Dable. Because I think those two pairing together is going to be wonderful for that team.
He's already kind of shown that he's like, I learned my lesson in New York. I am not a developing quarterback. I'm not doing that.
And now they have. I think they might be the most money in free agency. They're top 2, I'm pretty sure, if nothing else. So like,
yeah, they're top 2. I think
they can flip their roster, and I'm not even talking like.
I think technically the Jets took them over with them trading a couple of the players away, so I think the Jets are not hiring them.
But like they could flip their offensive roster into what they want very quickly. And again, I'm not talking
definitely have a New England year.
Yeah, do what New England did. You know, like just sign the right pieces.
I mean, I don't think they have as easy as a schedule as New England, but
no, well,
they can definitely turn it around and be like, wow, this team is competent. I can definitely see next year.
They're going to have a similar run to New England next year. They're going to have the 4th place schedule. So they're going to play weaker teams.
Yeah.
Like, there's a chance they're in the playoffs and we're sitting here like, wow, we really didn't expect that for most people.
We can have like another year of like Bears, Jaguars, and New England. All the teams ended up almost damn near winning the divisions and making playoffs. We can have it with Tennessee, Falcons, and maybe the Giants. All turn their shit around.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, the NFC East is definitely open. Until
only problem is that it's the NFC East. You don't know if the teams are going to be ass or they're all going to be great. They like to be weird.
The NFC South, we absolutely know is open.
Yeah, the NFC. I see the Saints winning it or have a good chance of winning it.
I think if you're a betting man, you still bet Tampa right now. As of today, February, whatever we're on.
As of today, I'm betting Tampa. If I had to put money on, I'm betting Tampa.
But I agree. I think as this offseason comes to a close, I think the betting odds might shift to. I think it shifts to either New Orleans, or Atlanta. I don't think Tampa goes into the season as the favorite. I do think that's officially over.
Unless they do some crazy shit in the offseason.
Possible. Always possible.
Yeah, you don't have a track record for that.
Well, it's exactly what we have a track record for.
Maybe if you fired that guy, I have a little bit more faith.
So, what teams do we have left?
Dolphins.
Huh?
Dolphins.
Oh, right. Jeff Hafley. This is one of the worst hires, I think, for me.
I don't know how to feel about it. I think he's just gonna be there, get fired after a couple years because their situation's kind of shit. Like I think the situation is kind of shit. The coach is kind of, and I think he'll just be the scapegoat when they shit again. Not really the coach's fault probably, but it'd be just a scapegoat to go look. See, guys, we're trying.
Sadly agree. Because don't be wrong, his defenses in Green Bay has been good. But even going back to his previous experiences, I know this isn't your expertise, so you can't really comment, but in college, they weren't some good team in college. He left college because he just didn't want to deal with NIL, so he left being a head coach to be a DC for Green Bay.
And I mean, Green Bay's defense has been solid.
Been good. It's been good. It's been really good. But like,
it's been good. It does have its collapses out of nowhere.
I just think between his head coaching in college and the way he kind of handled NIL and all that, I don't know that he's going to be a leader of men in the NFL. I just don't. I'm not in on it. It's another.
Especially against.
Go ahead.
Especially against guys that are looking for a way out. They're struggling.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be this good team for like the last 5 years, and they are. They're not like a normal bad team that like in the back of their heads, they all know shit. Like the Jets. Yes, they go into the season like, yeah, we're gonna be good this year, but they all know in the back of their head.
I just think like I mean, they took a chance. I'll give them that. They took a chance. They didn't do a Browns where they just, muddled around and ended up with, I mean, to be fair, Todd Monken in Miami I would have actually liked. But I just think that I think there's more attractive names. I think there was better names. I think he's going to be one of the worst hires in this class. I think he's a D+. I
think he's like a C-. I think in a couple years, the team is still going to be shit, and they're just going to use him as a scapegoat.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing against Hafley, really, but
like I generally think like even if he gets, I generally think if he gets fired, when he gets fired, I don't even think it'd be more of his fault. I think he'd be like, oh well, he tried. You can see where he's going. The team was just shit. They didn't give him time. They really didn't give him anything.
Yeah. It's
and
rough,
then they're gonna
man.
go.
Like, I'm still not a defensive guy. Don't get me wrong. I don't think hiring a defense. I'm not as crazy as I was where I was saying just don't hire the defensive guy. Like Vrabel's changed my mind. Why am I blanking on Seattle's coach? Mike McDonald's changed my mind. I just don't. The difference is right. I don't think, especially when comparing him to Mike McDonald, Hafley is not the schemer that he is, and I definitely don't think he's the leader of men that McDonald or Vrabel especially is. So it's like, I think he's good at everything, but I don't think he's going to push a team over the top. And I don't even know if he pushes them to the playoffs based off of the current roster. Like,
yeah,
I think what you were saying about like Pittsburgh kind of needing to just hit the reset, like that's what Miami is going to have to do. They're kind of being forced to hit the reset. So it's like, I just don't see how Hafley was the right choice. Maybe he's the one that makes us eat our words. This coaching hire, maybe. But
I mean, it is.
Go ahead.
He's probably the one that could make us eat our words. He's like the only one I generally are like. I'm like, don't really have faith in
him. And yeah, but I mean, they could make us eat our words in the sense if we've been like Clint Kubiak, we're really high on. He could make us eat our words if he's horrible,
I mean, yeah, he better not be.
I agree. I'm rooting for Clint, obviously. 1 year with the Saints, but still rooting for him. But yeah, I don't know. I think the two worst hires in this cycle for me are Cleveland with Todd Monken, simply because of the process and where they ended up, where they're at now.
No, Cleveland is bad because you're forcing another coordinator on the job. So like even like how you supposed to lead your team if y'all are always at odds? How is the coach gonna feel trying to make decisions if they're obviously favoritism the defensive guy over there?
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think the two worst hires for me are Cleveland with Monken, not because of the coach himself. I think Monken's a good coach, but the whole process and everything behind it. And then I think Hafley as well. Those are the two coaches that, for me, this hiring process, I'm just like, I don't think you hit. And then the next one up would probably be Pittsburgh, just because I think you moved laterally. Not that it's a bad hire, you just didn't upgrade.
You'd just be disappointed.
And then I think the two best hires for me are Clint Kubiak. It's a home run hire, I think. And I do think Tennessee with Robert Saleh is going to be a home run hire. And then if you go third again with that, because I win it, I would go the Giants with Harbaugh, because I do, again, he's good coach, good floor. I just don't know that your ceiling's all that high. But I think for the most part, for there to have been so many coaching openings this offseason, in a class that most people went into the offseason period, not the free agency, there we go. they thought that this was including me, including you, we all thought this was a weak coaching cycle. And it turned out that I think it's pretty solid. Like,
well, that's because the season went crazier than ever before.
not even that, it's just the coaches that we were looking at didn't look appealing. There was no offensive young Gene. There was no Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. There was no Mike McDonald. Like, the Mike McDonald sort of is Salah, but I think the Salah one is tainted by him already having the head coaching experience, right? We don't look at it the same.
I mean, that's the only reason why we're kind of hesitant on Salah is because we all saw what he did in New York.
The Mike McDonald. The Mike McDonald one was looked as great because, you know, he's
McDonald's got off a Super Bowl.
So, well, not that, but he was a
Super Bowl,
wonder
by the
kid
way.
coming in. We hadn't seen him as a head coach. So, but I think overall, I think these coaches handled this specific class fairly well. We didn't get a Matt Nagy hiring like we were getting rumors about. We didn't get a Cliff Kingsbury hire that was rumored. Like,
who did Matt Nagy get hired by? Wasn't it the Giants?
He's the OC for the Giants now, yeah.
Oh yeah, never mind. The Giants are cooked. No, the Giants are cooked. That man can't coach anything.
They have hired some very interesting people around that offensive
I
side.
forgot that he was to the Giants. Yeah, that whole NFC Championship thing I said, yes, I take that back.
That's brutal.
I'm being so that I have no faith in that motherfucker Matt Nagy. And yes, I know it's biased because I'm a Chicago fan and fuck him. But I have real reasons. Like, he made Mahomes look pretty average.
I just
the
think,
guy that can literally do anything on the field made him look average.
That's I wouldn't even say he made Mahomes look average. I just think if you can't make that offense step up any, that's kind of a sign.
Like, he turned Mahomes from a superstar to like a star. I mean, okay, maybe not average because that's far.
Yeah, but that was much more like product of everything, not just a Nagy thing.
Yeah, but he's been with them for 4 years, and he's been on the downhill for every 4 years.
Has he really been back in KC 4 years? That don't feel right.
It's like 3 or 4 years, and I think it's actually 3 years. But all 3 seasons, his numbers have gone down.
Because y'all had him when he's who you fired for Ben Johnson, no? Oh no, you fired Eberflus. Yeah,
you fired evil bum ass Flus. It would have been 5 years since we got rid of his ass.
Yeah, I forget about him. Yeah, so no, you're right.
Went
probably
to
4 years. Yeah,
field.
That is crazy. It doesn't feel like he's been back in KC that long.
Yeah, no, he's been back since then, and the numbers have been downhill every year, especially these last like 2-3 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that one's just. I think the Chiefs have kind of partly been stuck in their ways, and they need to wake up that kind of offense. You need to evolve as you go. But either way, like the overall point is just the GMs and the owners, I think, handled this hiring process really well outside of the Browns and Dolphins. And even the Dolphins, I don't think y'all handled it poorly. It's just I don't like the guy you went with for the situation.
It kind of just feels like you just looked for an scapegoat. It looks like you looked just for a guy that you're like, yeah, we're gonna fire you on a better option. Now pops back up.
So, kudos to the teams. Congratulations, y'all did well.
Not Ben Johnson well, but I guess I'll give y'all credit.
Not no Kellen Moore well either. I got back.
Or Mike Vrabel. He actually want to shoot. He went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but let's.
I know he had an easy schedule and all, but like you don't just.
Yeah, but let's be real. We all knew he shouldn't have been fired in Tennessee either. So.
That is so true. We all knew that he was probably the most sure coach hiring I've ever felt in my life.
Absolutely, he was an A++
outside of Ben Johnson to Chicago. Like I knew he was going to turn that team around. Like,
yeah, but even Ben had some risk reward, right? Like we knew Vrabel would turn that team around. Like that was
that is true. Like Ben, we were still like we don't know because being a head coach is a big jump.
Exactly.
Vrabel, he shouldn't have been fired. He got handheld to look like what he was supposed to be when he got drafted.
And I seriously fear that's what Stefanski's going to be this year.
Oh yeah, I'm scared of that.
Like,
and I'm pretty sure Andy play all this year.
I wanted Stefanski anywhere but my division, and of course he ends up in my division.
I mean, I'm glad he can go to Minnesota, but
Well, Stefanski never would have went to Minnesota because they got Kevin.
Or Green Bay, sorry, because if they
Green Bay.
When that whole thing started, they were saying if they fired LaFleur, they were gonna go get.
I was hoping Stefanski would go to fucking Tennessee, bro.
That's where I kind of wanted him to go. I really thought that's
But
what I thought he was going to go to Tennessee or New York. I thought he was for sure going to go to either of those two areas.
yeah,
I was
agreed.
shocked that Tennessee went with Sutter, honestly.
But he has to end up in my division because divine fate, I guess.
Shit, you would have rather probably Harbaugh. At least it would stop being
I
good
would
at
have,
some point.
yes, because I think Harbaugh's ceiling's capped. I much would have rather Harbaugh.
Like, yeah. You made the playoffs, but like I
I am
know
very
my
high on
Kellen Moore would
Stefanski.
beat you.
I may have graded it only at B plus, but that's just because I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be like. He might just end up in a Cleveland situation where Penix can't stay healthy and they got nobody, and he's just a
Yeah,
scapegoat in a couple years.
it's just Penix, honestly. Penix is a big reason why I question
But Stefanski
not
himself,
the
it's an A.
higher,
It's
but
an A
how
higher
good
for me.
Stefanski. Yeah, not how good Stefanski's tenure would be with the Falcons.
So yeah.
But maybe he can erect Michael Penis.
We can quickly cover the Super Bowl if you want. I don't have too much to say about it personally.
Well, I enjoyed it for like all of the first half as a defensive minded
Agreed.
person, and then it was like watching a kid get his ass beat, but like the kid stopped fighting.
Yeah, the second half got a little out of hand. I agree. First half was great. I'm not
First
I'm
half,
not
I
a
was like,
defensive guy, but like the first half was still really fun. But the second half
yeah,
was rough.
I liked the first half because I was like, cool, look at all the blitzes, and
Yeah.
my brain was going crazy. And then the second half, I was like, he's already dead. Just kill him.
I just yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because like truthfully New England just was the worser team that day. Like
But I
that's
did
what it
call
comes
it.
down
I
to.
did say that Drake May was gonna get his butt whooped.
Like between the blitzing that they couldn't stop and the Drake May passes that were off or the defensive alignment that allowed Kenneth Walker to win Super Bowl MVP, like just wasn't the pay. They were the worser team. They weren't there that day to win. It's kind of how I view that Super Bowl. I don't think it was two Titans clashing or anything by no means. Like it
I
wasn't
mean,
a.
in my eyes, and I mean this in the most respectful way, and I know it requires always a little bit of luck to make it to the Super Bowl, but
I mean,
I mean
there's not gonna be an easier path in the next 10 years.
that shit was so like CJ Stroud decided to have the worst game of his career, and you didn't even play against the starter in Denver, and you almost lost that. And I don't care what you say, oh, but the snow. In the first half, you were still doing absolutely nothing.
Agreed.
So if Bo Nix was out there, your ass is gonna get cooked.
Agreed.
I don't even like Bo Nix like that,
If
but
Will,
your ass is gonna
I
get
mean,
cooked.
they would have gotten cooked if Will Levis just made his field goals. So
Or that, yeah. Or I don't know, if you take 2 turnovers away from the Texans game, they still lose.
yeah, you're not gonna see. I mean, 10 years is kind of crazy because you never know. Like,
You never know, but
nobody saw
I mean,
this one coming. But like, yeah, they're not anytime soon. Do I expect an
they
easier
would
path to the
they
playoffs?
literally gifted the Patriots. It was
100%.
like it was scripted and a bad script, by the way. Whoever wrote it needs to be fired.
It's just
Not
like
believable enough.
I'm okay with it in the sense like a lot of people are upset about it because it wasn't some great Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't. It's not an all-time great Super Bowl, but the amount of
It's,
parity we had over the course of the whole season made me okay with it
but
because we
no,
had 18 weeks of great football.
I'm okay with it. I mean, it did suck, but like just like every TV show, not every ending is gonna be a banger. We've seen plenty of shows
Yeah,
where
but I
all the
just think
seasons are
that
straight bangers, and then
the
the ending is
the
not
problem
bad, but it's
is
like disappointing.
like 7 out of the last 10 are just not banger Super Bowls. So like we're just desperate for a banger Super Bowl. Like
That is that is
there just
true.
hasn't been a great Super Bowl much lately. So
Should have gave us Bears in New England. New England could have actually done things with the ball because our defensive
I
line
just
is
think it's similar to
non-existent.
like obviously there was no flag type thing, but it's similar to the Rams Patriots one that everybody was the most boring Super Bowl ever 13-3. That Super Bowl ain't boring if the Saints make it instead of the Rams. If it's Breeze versus Brady, that's a much better game. But, instead it ends up a boring Super Bowl. Like
And like I'm all for a defensive matchup. I'm all for it. But 0 touchdown. I want a little bit of offense.
I mean, this Super Bowl was, I want to say, I don't know the number, 3-4 minutes off, if that, of breaking the record for the longest time played in the Super Bowl without a touchdown. Like,
Yeah.
no, I think it was about 4 minutes because I think they said it was around 6:30 or something, and they scored around 9:45, 10 minutes left in the fourth. So it was right around 3-4 minutes probably. But like, yeah, I don't know. That's why I just don't have a whole lot to say. Congrats to Seattle, y'all earned it, y'all deserved it. Sam Darnold, good job. But
And I'm
yeah,
sorry, Sam Darnold, for what I said at the beginning of the season. I bite my words.
I honestly don't even remember what you said.
I mean, I did say that he was gonna be ass, but I kind of predicted like a 10-win season for his ass,
Yeah, fair.
or like
That's
an
fair.
11 second round exit. Was not prepared for him to be
No, that's
low key
fair.
in the MVP runnings and
I will say,
winning
because I
the
gotta get this
fucking
off my
Super Bowl.
chest. This whole stat about them being the first ever team to not turn the ball over and win the Super Bowl. Fuck that stat, because the Saints did that exact same thing, other than one fucking Reggie Bush punt return fumble. So fuck that stat, bro. Because my offense didn't turn that ball over. Reggie Bush fumbled on a damn punt return.
Okay, so why are you mad at the stat? Be mad at Reggie Bush.
No, I'm mad at the stat because, because people are only talking about the stat in the sense of offense. The stats turn it over in general. At least understand the stat if you're going to use it, because the Saints did that exact thing.
So if people were like specifying that, hey, the Saints technically did it, or they're talking about as a whole, not just offensively, then you'd be okay with it.
Because everybody, when they're pointing the stat out, they say kudos to Sam Darnold. It's the whole team. It's the special teams unit as well that didn't turn it over.
You know what I saw? I saw some disrespectful shit. So they had a picture: Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen and Drew Brees. And they said, why is Drew Brees in that picture? Take him out and this picture will be realistic.
It is what it is. Hey,
how the fuck do you think Drew Brees don't deserve to be there? And now we have this whole argument that Rodgers was just 10 times better than Brees.
They can say whatever the hell they want. My guy's in the Hall of Fame, bro. They can say whatever the fuck they want. My guy's first ballot.
Brees is the GOAT.
I don't see Belichick being first ballot. My guy's first ballot.
Okay, now first of all, when the Patriots fans coming out here, Belichick got wild. Let's be real.
I don't give a fuck, bro. My guy's first ballot. Where's
you would have gave a fuck if it was your guy that didn't make it first round.
Damn right, because Brees deserves it.
Belichick deserves it too.
Meh.
Man, it's crazy.
That's
why Sean Payton about to win another Super Bowl.
I think that kind of wraps this up. Unless you got much more to say.
No.
Next week we'll be breaking down the
Nothing
NFC.
I'm allowed to say.
We'll be breaking down each NFC team, what they should or what they need to do in the offseason as a whole. So we'll get starting on that next week. Hopefully Jermaine's feeling better. I don't know, Jermaine, are you even here to give any final words, or I don't think he's here.
That boy's slumped. I hope he wakes up for the tattoo. I'm pretty sure you have to put money down for that.
We might have lost a friend today on the pod. But no, hopefully he's good next week. We're all gonna bring our teams to the pod. And yeah, I think we'll just see y'all then. All right, we're out of here. Peace.
Deuces.